Hey, welcome to The Process. My name is Dr. John Bush. We are at lesson 59, continuing our team focus, this time Pittsburgh and Seattle, trying to help you win your fantasy football drafts. It's a video textbook for you. We're winding down on this block of material. I'd start at the beginning. Again, this is landscape metrics just to put you in some type of context. Uh, right now, a lot of people are throwing projections and things, and they are missing context. They are missing reference class forecasting. I go about things differently. Okay. So if you're watching, then thanks for watching. If you're not watching, that's what I think. Okay, so this is conference team position 2016 fantasy point averages for all quarterbacks on Pittsburgh 17, 18, 19, and 20, and the grand total if you totaled all those averages over 5 years. And I circled in blue the 5 year top in what year that was. Get like I said, context of where 2020 was at and where we might go in 2021. Let's start with quarterback. Well, first to say that 3,346 is a spectacular wide receiver passing number. Uh, Big Ben delivers the passing yards. Okay, 2019 he was hurt. Just look at that number 444. Weak sauce compared to 800. 760, that kind of thing. So there's one only thinks that if he is healthy, there would be an explosion of fantasy points and fantasy goodness. And I'm definitely able to draft him as in best ball as my second quarterback. It's amazing. It's like everybody's asleep or something. Anyway, that's what's going on here. So quarterback 2018, Ben was at his tops, and last year was near average. So I'm expecting near average. That'd be great, 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 great. If he was mobile, that number would be, higher, but, you know, getting long in the tooth. The running backs are the issue in 2020. Take a look at that. That's a 5 year low, 2016 5 year high. So we have been declining since 2016, and that continues to be an issue. There's been some shakeups, but I'm not expecting big things out of the running backs here. We'll see, what the public's seeing, but I'm concerned. Tight ends have been ho hum. 2020 was below average, average, whatever. Certainly the median 5 years. So nothing great, nothing bad. Probably the tight end is useful, certainly in a streaming option or as your second tight end here. And wide receivers, Juju, uh, Dante Johnson, and Claypool. Those three are going, and people can't decide who's tops. I mean, it's just, is it 1A, B, C kind of thing? A very interesting crew of wide receivers here. And Pittsburgh figures to continue that passing goodness. So I'm definitely trying to get a piece or two in my best balls of those wide receivers there. So uh, looking at the bar graphs, 2020 back to 2016 by colors. Here's the dark blue is 2020. You can see when Ben was hurt right there. So we're getting about average. So I expect that's where we're going to get 2021. We got issues here. Be aware of the running back issues. I'm just not sure I know what to think. I'm certainly bearish on the outlook in 2021. Tight end has been up and down and close to average, so probably usable, but nothing that I'm actively seeking. Wide receivers, wow. Can you tell when Ben was out? Goodness, that was a disaster 2020. 2019, my bad. 2019, yep, that was bad, bad, bad. About half the production here. Okay, so one would expect average, declining average, and hopefully little regression, but still, if we can regress to 218 or 217, that's still spectacular, Continue here, 5-year average. Anything above 40% for a 5-year average of wide receivers is great. It's 43, and in 2020 it was 51%. That may be the league high. That's rocking and rolling. 7%, which just goes along with a 6% decline in rushing. So as long, and again, expect good passing things if the running backs are not, that position is not corrected. Ben, 21%, pretty straightforward average. Tight end, average. So Ben is a 14th round. I personally think that's a nice price and am taking it as my quarterback 2, or if I was streaming late quarterbacks, he would definitely be one. The running backs are a conundrum. They have kind of a who's who of wide receiver, 2 types, 3 types shoehorned in, and Najee Harris, so the rookie's going to be dominant. Public thinks so. He's a 7th round pick, so this is a 0 RB pick here. You hope he grows into something. Benny Snell is 11th pick. I have picked him up, and I have not picked up McFarland or Ballage. Those are pretty much free in best ball. I'm not looking to take any shares here, but if I was doing a 0 RB, then probably I would be taking, I would take Harris and Snell together. If I was going to take one, I would want both. Okay. Tight end, Eric Ebron, 13th round, probably useful as a spot play, streamer type, could improve, but 5-year average, there's nothing in the metrics that predict any kind of major increase. So I think you get what you get. 5, 6, and 7 here. They really like Dante Johnson at 5, and they think Claypool and Juju are pretty much the same within a round. I'm taking Juju in Blessed Ball just for the price. Claypool, I'm not able to get Johnson. His numbers are too high, and I'm just not convinced that the draft capital you would pay for him is worth what Poole or Juju would get you. So that's kind of my strategy there. For best balls. Okay. So there are some useful pieces here in Pittsburgh. Last thing is just a visual of the differences from 2020 versus 5-year, blue versus red. Anything below 0 is a decline, so we pretty much average, decline, increase. So is this decline, this increase? So if Najee Harris is not who people think he might be, it would be very possible that the wide receivers, you're going to get a bonus uh, uh, draft capital Poole and Juju. If Harris is the hot new dog, then it's possible you could break even or lose picking Juju or Claypool there. So if you get an indication, or this summer training, if that he's got a way to go, then that might tip your hand a little bit. Okay, just depends. So watch that carefully. I think that might, especially if you're going to draft some redrafts later August, late August, then you might teach people kind of, they're forming their opinions now, and a lot of people, those opinions don't change regardless of news that comes out, right? We talked about biases early in the lessons, in the first 10 or so lessons. So go back but people get stuck, even though we're talking the opinions were formed even before training camp. People somehow, oh yeah, this is how it's going to be. I will continue to sample to, draw my final conclusions even as I'm drafting, right? So just be aware of that. I think there's a correlation there, and you might be able to collect if you're able to read the tea leaves right. Seattle is NFC West, and I'll just fast forward. 2020 was a nice passing year. Russell Wilson, 5-year high, and the wide receivers, 5-year high. There's nothing to think that we won't have a continuation of that. The running backs have really shaped up since 2018, 19, and 20. I think you'll get what you're getting. Tight ends are tight ends, and I'm not expecting me to take a lot of shares of Seattle tight ends, maybe as a spot play or, third tight end, something in a premium league, maybe, depending on the day. I think you're going quarterback, and I think you're going wide receiver with upside, at least you hope, or maybe there's a regression. People think. Right now, I'm thinking, with running backs, I don't see any big change. So if there's nothing new really happening, then I'm expecting 2021 to look a lot like 2020. So here is 2020 here. And we did have a nice increase here on wide receivers. Pretty much static. An increase in the quarterback and tight ends have been leveled off. So I'm not drafting tight ends, no. I'm thinking maybe Carson, maybe, but not looking to reach early. Okay, I think you want the wide receivers, and Wilson is a nice quarterback one. So 3% increase in the wide receivers, near 40%, looks good. Tight ends declined by 3%. Running backs 1% decline. Quarterback went up 1. So the only big positional changes were tight ends moving down and wide receivers. Expecting 2021 to look a lot like 2020. And Russell Wilson is a 6th-round QB. That seems a nice price. Not reaching above that, but certainly 7th round or more I'm taking. Carson, 4th round. I think that's probably okay. I would love to see him slip further, but I doubt, given how running back crazy people, or Rashad Penny. 11th round, boy, I think there's some better handcuffs out there. It would cost you less capital than Rashad Penny. Maybe we're all surprised, but right now, unless something happens this summer, I'm not picking up Penny. Everett is probably a spot play. They did get him from the Rams. 13th round seems like a good tight end two type. Metcalf and Lockett, I think they're closer to, in my opinion, than they shown here, 2 and a 5th round. So I'm taking Lockett all day at 5th round. Metcalf may be overpriced. Dwayne Eskridge, maybe as an injury handcuff, if I'm heavily invested, then I might try to pick him up with Lockett or Metcalf. I think if I had one other, I might pick him up, but I have no clue about what he brings to the table right now. Public thinks he's a 13th round, so it is kind of close to a stab in the dark. But I think Lockett is what I would suggest people fish for. Metcalf may be priced right and probably not draftable at that price. With that said, as August comes around, some of these numbers may actually be bargains now. But right now, I think that's my plan. Certainly in best ball. I don't know about June, July redrafts. Okay, I may be thinking differently then, but right now, early June best ball, that's kind of where I'm going. Okay, I think is that it, or is there one more? Well, I think I'm supposed to have another graph there, but anyway, looking at the differences here, but I think I spelled out my strategy for Seattle as well. So I think we had 2 good teams with key players that are worthy of our time to do research on. So keep working. Please keep listening to the lessons. We're having lots of fun, and come back real soon. Woo woo.